this is Paul from Strung Too Tight.
Hello, Stephen here.
And we've had to put Stephen on the normal way he speaks because, as we already know, he's a little bit simple.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah, very much so. So we missed a couple of weeks in terms of we didn't do any filming because, as usual, Steve just disappears.
When?
Last week.
How did I disappear?
Well, did you come round?
Yeah.
Did you?
I asked to.
He's so full of it.
I put the messages online, so follow.
What we'll do is we should have a system where we can see his phone and how he can actually disappear for 3 or 4 days and think it's acceptable. Oh, my phone broke.
Paul still thinks he's my boss.
Well, I think I am. When it comes to this, I am for sure. My baby. Right, so here we are, we're back. Thanks already so much for any comments. I mean, I don't know what's happening for you, but I get people coming to me in the tennis clubs and Tennis 360 that I've been, and parents coming up to me saying, "Oh, I'm watching your podcast."
Yeah, I've been shouted at.
Have you?
I won't say who, but
I had a father that did have a bit of a go at me
regarding women's tennis, which we defend and love.
Do you know what? The guy who had to go at me said he started with saying, "I understand what you mean and about the overbearing parents, but you have to understand." And as soon as he said, "I have to understand," I said to him, I was like, "Believe me, I understand. I understand. I've been doing it for 27 years. You've been doing it for probably 27 minutes."
Paul, the parents know best.
They do. They always know best.
They know best.
Yeah. Go to a doctor's. Yeah. The doctor tells you you've broken a leg. You haven't. You've broken a nail. Okay. You haven't. You've got a cold.
That's good to know.
Talking about colds, shout out to Christoph. Hopefully you'll not be sick anymore. I know you're lying in your bed, like on your deathbed actually.
I think it's finally got him.
Yeah, probably.
Effect.
The Semenya effect. So Christoph, hope you get better soon. I want you to hopefully win that tournament and kick everyone's butt, because don't forget, there's a certain somebody who doesn't think you're a very good player. He thinks that you're rubbish, doesn't he? A certain somebody.
Who's that?
Yeah.
He thinks Christoph's rubbish.
Yeah. He thinks Chris. He's like I can't have somebody with that forehand winning my tournament.
Well, now you put the accent on, I do know who you mean.
Yeah. Well, there you go then. So
maybe those two should play and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, because it'll be fixed in some way to make sure. But anyway,
make sure the medics are on hand. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. So over the last couple of weeks, then we've had a bit of a change. We went from the North American scene over to the European clay and to the Fed Cup, and we're going to start, Steve, with the Fed Cup. Do you want to start the ball rolling, or shall I?
Well, I think before we talk about the results and things, I'm always disappointed in how little coverage it gets. Why isn't it promoted the same way as the Davis Cup?
It flabbergasts me. I don't know. Is this something to do with the WTA? Is this something to do with, I don't know, who the sponsors? But in comparison to, and actually, I think the format works better for the Fed Cup.
They do.
You have the 4 singles and then the doubles. Now, I can understand why it could backfire. I mean, I don't think you'll ever get it perfect, but you've got this system where they play over 2 days, which I think encourages it. It's the weekend and that's it. But the interest just doesn't seem to be there.
I mean, Monte Carlo was running at the same time, and I'm pretty sure I know what people are watching. Maybe that's one thing, because normally the Davis Cup is not really an event running alongside it, isn't it?
Well, they do. They run sort of lower tier ones, but don't forget that there wasn't the ladies' events were still running.
Yeah.
Whereas they didn't. I don't think they had a big one. I think they had one in China, but they didn't do anything other than that. But
it's disappointing.
We get criticised. I definitely get criticised for my sort of critical assessment of the WTA and ladies tennis. But like you say, I actually think I'm one of the biggest advocates of it. I want it to be successful. I think it's so important for it to be successful. These ladies, sorry, I don't want to say guys, these ladies are amazing, absolutely amazing at what they do, and yet they're not treated with the same credibility. You know, when you look at the names that were in the Fed Cup this weekend, you could argue it was better than the Davis Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of Serena and Venus, pretty much all the top players were playing. Halep was playing.
Halep played.
So, Kerr was. I mean, like, we could go on.
WTA, get it together.
Yeah, WTA. If you want to consult with somebody who actually seems to love everything about the sport, even throwing my things around, then Steve and I would be willing to come and assist you. We work in academies. We work in 2 separate academies, although I'm working for multis. I'm working for two or three at the moment. But just consulting, it's great. So, you know, we work in these academies. Not one person over the last 5 days mentioned the Fed Cup.
Nobody knows it's on.
Nobody knows it's on. And let's be blunt, WTA, that's your fault. That is your fault. Because people were talking to me about the Davis Cup. They didn't mention the Fed Cup. So you need to get your backsides in gear.
The more I look into it, it's actually, I get more and more frustrated. And even also the ATP, but certainly the WTA. The money is there to spend in terms of promotion, marketing, and that's all it needs. People don't realise how good the women's game is and all these great events. Like, I want to go and watch my country play. I don't care what sport it is, male or female, juniors. I like watching my country play. So why aren't they pushing it? Frustrating. So come on, let's get it going.
Get your house in order. Okay, but let's talk about it, because there is something I'd like to discuss about it. I don't know if we'll get time today. If we witter on like we usually witter on, then we probably won't. Yeah. So, World Group, we had USA versus France. Sloane Stephens.
USA.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up 3-2, but it was already 3-1. They played the doubles anyway. So, the French team decimated.
Sloane Stephens was 6-2, 6-love against
No,
Mladenovic.
I'm not even talking about that. Decimated.
Oh.
No Caroline Garcia.
Yeah.
No Alizé Cornet. There's apparently some doping issues there to be talked about, but I don't know enough about
That
it.
will come out in the report.
I'll get Rafa on. Rafa, you've got to come on and probably get yourself, like, you know, put in prison or something. If I put you on a live podcast, you're going to say something.
Yeah, you're not allowed to swear, ideally.
Yeah, putain is not allowed 1,000,000 times. Okay, once or twice, like I've just done. But yeah, so USA pretty comfortably beat.
Quite
France.
a resurgent USA. They're still in the men's. They've been very dominant in some tournaments. It's impressed. USA tennis seems to be, although when I speak to some people within the system, they're not too happy. I think the level of participation is extremely low, but now is the time to surely push on.
If you go on like Facebook posts and stuff from certain people, you'd think that the USTA
End
system,
of the world.
these will just blow it up. I mean, but no, I mean they obviously did so well in the US Open last year. They're obviously very good on home soil.
Yeah.
You know, because they were playing at home again as well this week. And then you've got the unbelievably dominant Czech Republic.
Strong.
Versus Germany, who were very strong now. Kirk were playing.
Yeah.
But 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Should be a good final.
Yeah, I mean, do we know where it's going to be hosted?
Don't know.
Well, I mean, Czech, if it's in the States, then you fancy the home team in this for sure. Sloane Stephens on home soil is unbeaten now for God knows how long. And then yeah, I think, well, she's not unbeaten. Did she lose she won Miami, but she lost in Indian Wells, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, she must have done.
Or maybe she just didn't play. I don't know. But when she's on form, she's great. Madison Keys wasn't playing.
Should we talk about Britain?
Well, can we get to there because we'll get. I want to mention the World Group playoffs. So just for those who don't know, basically in the first round, the losers go into a playoff to see who's going to get knocked out of the World Group. And they're playing the winners of the World Group 2 that won their matches. So, for example, we had Belarus versus Slovakia, which Belarus won with no Azarenka.
Good win.
Sabalenka's pretty impressive though. She's a big player. Romania versus Switzerland. Halep. I mean, she knew she was.
Bencic.
Well, I mean, it's not just Bencic though, is it? I mean, you've got a couple of decent players there. Australia killed Holland, but Holland didn't have Kiki Bertens playing, which I thought was interesting. And then Belgium killed Italy. So pretty routine, all of those.
Yeah.
It was the World Group 2 where we're going to get to, because we'll start with GB, or should we end with GB? I think we need to end with GB. So Latvia versus Russia, fantastic match. Ended up when you think of Sevestoza and Ostapenko playing for Latvia, very dangerous and very good doubles pairing. They won in Doha.
Yeah.
So they get promoted. They get promoted now to the World Group for next year, if I'm not wrong. So that means then that if they can stay fit, you'd think that they are going to be a big threat next year, Latvia. Okay, Canada versus Ukraine. This one went to the final doubles.
It out.
Yeah, it went to the final doubles.
Eugenie,
yeah, she won one of the matches in the third set tiebreak. But a good win. She's down outside the top 100.
I think she's 120, 130.
Yeah, she is.
Wow, we'll come to that.
Yeah, it's amazing what a photo shoot will do for your career. Spain, Paraguay. I mean, God, was there any point in Paraguay turning up for that one? Although again, Muguruza actually almost lost their first match. And then let's go for it then. Japan versus GB. Okay, we can't be that biased because we hopefully have a worldwide audience of 7, but from all different nations. That's great. Japan versus GB. Do you want to start?
I mean, Great Britain should have won. What annoys me a little bit, I always find this in all of the teams, when they pick, so there was a girl called Gabby Taylor, a doubles specialist. That's why she's being picked. She's a little bit younger. Stick her in. I don't like all this, we're just going to take her for the experience. If you're picking these players, stick them in. If you're picking a double specialist, put them in.
And in that sense, why was Naomi Brody not selected? Because she reached the final yesterday. I don't know.
Jana Wickmeyer, they lost.
They lost, did they? And then she won the final last weekend. So in terms of form, doubles, Naomi Brody, Cheshire girl, it doesn't make sense. But maybe she's just taken herself away from the Fed Cup.
Maybe she's stepped down.
We need to talk about Heather. Firstly, I've known Heather Watson since she was about 13. Okay, I watched her in nationals when she won the under-14s nationals. The girl who I was teaching at the time was supposed to play, but the girl I was coaching got killed. But made nationals.
Well, that's pretty
good. She got better each year anyway. But Heather Watson was always going to be a huge thing, and she didn't grow. Her father's not exactly the tallest. She didn't get to, we expected kind of like a Serena Williams type figure, but it never really came about. She didn't really grow, but her game just seems to be going right now.
I don't think she's ever had the biggest game as well. She's always relied more on the physical side of things, but unfortunately, I think the game is just moving past her a little bit. If you don't have big weapons these days.
Well, this is what we always hoped with Laura. I mean, it was always sad about Laura that she got injured, but she had weapons. Her serve was a weapon. Her forehand was a weapon. Heather just hasn't got weapons. And what was, I mean, it's so easy with hindsight to say this, and I understand, and yes, but she lost both her singles matches. You can't put her in the doubles.
No.
Emotionally, I mean, and it's not like she lost those singles matches and didn't have chances. She had 3 set points against Nara. 3 set points in that first set. She was 5-3 up against Nara in the games. Everything was going towards her, and she's just got no confidence.
Well, you can tell because anytime she's down, she seems to play a lot better. When she's in the lead,
But I mean, she's now at a stage where I think it's now 9 matches in a row. She's lost.
It's 9 or 10, yeah. I think it comes back to Anke Ottervang, the captain mentioned it. Where are the next generation of players coming through? Like there's 4 or 5 around the, Gabby Taylor's 170, I think. So there's a few around the 170 to 300, but
Katie Swan.
There's nobody. Same in the men's, really. There's no one taking that next step. I think it's a bit worrying, actually.
We're British. We've been having this for years.
Yeah, good point.
I think when you look at Laura and Heather, Jamie, even. If there's one, you usually can get 3 or 4. Hemman sort of would have been the catalyst for Andy Murray and people like that. They've seen the success, but no, right now, there must be people coming along, but I don't know. I'm getting back to the whole thing. Anne Kialavon said about how we missed a great opportunity. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but with the exception of maybe Paraguay, we couldn't have got a better draw.
We'd lose.
Yeah, Latvia would kill us. Russia would have killed us. Canada probably would have killed us. Ukraine would have killed us. Spain would have destroyed us. So we got lucky, and we didn't win it. So we're just not good enough. And that's
my only one trying to saving grace is that they have been drawn away. I think the last 3 or 4 years. If you look at all of the Fed Cup results, I'm pretty sure the home team won over the whole weekend. So there is a little bit with that, but I still think at the end of the day, we're just not good enough.
Well, no, because you've got to remember in the previous group that they're in, you generally don't get home matches because you're in groups of 6 or 7 and you play one of those things. So chances of a home draw are very, very slim anyway. But this was, it was Japan. Excuse me. Japan indoor. Okay? You haven't got Clay, so you've got a chance. You've not got anybody with particular form. Osaka maybe, but we saw the meltdown that she had in Charleston. So was she on full form? Conta seems to give her a bit of a pacing too. Nara,
I don't even know much about her, to be honest.
She's a nice player, steady player, but never going to be top 50 in the world sort of player. Yeah. And we just didn't have enough. And I think the simple truth is we're in the right area. I think that's where we belong. We do not belong in the world group. So tough on us. Right. I think we said who we thought who's going to win it. We can't make the decision until.
Well, I'll go USA.
I'm going to go USA as well.
No, you're not allowed. I said it first.
Okay, I'll go Czech Republic.
Perfect.
Okay. So.
What are your thoughts? Let us know. Why isn't the Fed Cup made more of? Why isn't it as big as the Davis Cup? We should be. I don't see why it shouldn't be. Why do you think maybe it's not quite got the same? I can almost guarantee if you're watching this, you didn't probably even know it was on or even know who was playing, which is a shame because, it sounds bad to admit, I had to look up exactly who was playing.
We know some crazy obsessed fans of the game.
Yeah.
I don't really want to mention them, but I'm going to Courtly, Dina.
And my friend Claire.
Your friend Claire, who is great, by the way. She comments all the time.
Always on it.
Don't know you, but great. Keep commenting. But give us your thoughts on it because Dina's generally sort of has a go at me because I always pick on the sport.
That's the one who shouted at me.
I knew it would be
in a nice-ish way.
Courtney didn't shout at me. She just sent me a message saying, "Ooh, I love this."
I love Dina anyway.
So yeah, they're all phenomenal. Crazy people. Okay, so shall we start going on about Monte Carlo?
I'm feeling good about my bet. You cannot beat Rafa Nadal on a clay court. He wasn't injured. He just took some time off so he could get some early practice on the clay. I think he played better than ever. How do you stop him?
Do you know what? I'm worried. I'm so worried now because of that stupid bet that we've put on. I text Steve and I said, oh, there's 1,000 of the 4,600 points that he needs to defend. He only lost 4 games in 1 set once in the whole week.
He's won 36 sets straight on clay. I think it's just frightening. Just watching his game, again, this is where these top guys are there for a reason. He's pushed on again. He's developed. His backhand cross court is just, I said this to Paul earlier actually, I think on a clay court, he might have the best backhand ever on a clay court. That cross court backhand opens up everything to him.
I'm going to go with Gustavo Curtains.
Oh, well, yeah, he's up there. Just Rafa, and then I think what I was most impressed by is, Federer has always been so good at moving up the court and reading the play. Rafa was taking the ball so early, especially against Dominic Thiem, giving him no time. I've never seen, yes, on the returns, Rafa is 1,000 feet behind the baseline. You can't even see him on TV. But actually, in the play, he was moving forwards, taking the ball early. And then team decided, right, I'm Dimitrov, I'm going to go forward, step in, take it early. Nadal just retreats 10 feet, camps himself, and he's able to just... It is the biggest enigma in tennis ever.
I'd go with that. I'd go with that for sure. And there was a point, I think I texted you about this as well, where Nadal was so far back that all you saw was his head bobbing in a few of the points, but he was miles and miles and miles back. But I just want to go through the quarterfinals because the names that are there are, I think, quite interesting. We'll get to Nadal team and because that was the biggest of the big. Dimitrov versus Goffin.
Nice to see them both back. Good match, Goffin. Was it 7-5, 6-4?
6-4, 7-6.
6-4, 7-6.
Great to see Goffin back. They played doubles. They pulled out the doubles after
Dimitrov.
that. Yeah, it was a Dimitrov.
Yeah,
just
because he was playing Nadal.
And that's what really winds me up is when you have good singles players play the doubles, and then because they get a little bit further than they expected, they pull out the doubles.
I would pull out.
Shut your face. No, you wouldn't.
If you're playing against Nadal, you need every ounce of strength.
If you're going to play against Nadal, you play Nadal, you get killed obviously in 7 minutes, and then you can go and play your doubles and think, hey, I've still got a chance of winning something.
He's not even drawing it out anymore. He's just killing you straight away.
We'll get to Nadal again. Right, Gasquet versus Zverev. What a match!
Yeah. 2 hours, 40 minutes was it?
Yeah, I don't really care about that. What a match. 7-5 in the final set to Zverev. Gasquet, nice to see Gasquet start playing well.
I mean, he always looks good, doesn't he?
He's a beast, isn't he, when he's playing well. Nishikori versus Silic.
Nishikori finding his form pretty quickly from his injury, so
6-3 in the final set. Good match. Silic on clay shouldn't really hurt you, but he did well. He did really, really well. And then the big one. And the reason it's a big one is because you put out there on Facebook about how Djokovic was going to beat Thiem, and then Djokovic would then beat Nadal, and you were shat on from a height, and it was dessert. Even I was thinking, I would love you to be right.
I had a feeling.
No, your feeling was stupid.
If I have an opinion, I'm going to say it.
Well, look, it boils down to the Pat Cash theory yet again, right? And that is that Nadal and Federer are here, and everybody else is here, and Djokovic has had a period where he's done that, and Murray's had a period where he's done that, and Wawrinka's had a period when he's done that. But when truth be told, they're here, love and 2.
I saw there was a point, I think Nadal was like 3-love up in about 15 minutes, and Thiem's face when he sat down was like, he'd lost. He'd not given up is the wrong term, but you just knew it's like, what is going on here?
Just so you know, by the way, just in case, because obviously we get an extra viewer every week. I'm going to say that Steve and I. That's a funny story as well. Steve and I had a little bet 2 weeks ago where Steve said that Nadal would go through the whole clay court season unbeaten. I said he wouldn't. Obviously, we can't bet for money because that is not within the rules, especially in this country. So we decided that because Steve is a scumbag bitter blue, and I'm just a mighty Reds, and obviously...
They'll think Manchester United.
No, they won't. They won't when I say Champions League semi-finals against Roma this week. Let's not go. Champions League, sorry. You've done that once or twice, haven't you? So the agreement is that if Nadal gets through the whole clay court season unbeaten, I have to do the podcast immediately after the French Open wearing an Everton t-shirt, which he's going to have to buy because how am I going to fit in it? And I've got plenty of Liverpool t-shirts in there, which will swamp him, obviously. But he'll be wearing a nice red Liverpool top.
It's not going to happen.
I'm worried it's not now.
Although I worry, I think the big tournaments, Nadal's going to win. But it's like Barcelona. Is he playing Madrid? He normally plays Madrid, doesn't he? There's one tournament he's not got a great record in. Is it Rome?
Rome. I think he's won 6 times, but Madrid is the one that people have beaten him at for sure. So Barcelona, he kills everybody as usual. I mean,
He's got a tough draw though, Nishikori.
At the end of the day, if Nadal doesn't play another tournament now until Roland Garros, then I'm screwed. But he will. I mean, he's got 4,600 points to defend. So yeah, so that was the bet that we've had, and I look like I'm going to lose it. 11 Monte Carlos.
It's crazy.
Right. I was trying to put it into perspective. Right. 11 wins in the one tournament. So let's now go on to let's add the French Open. So now he's 2 tournaments. Nadal's won more events at those two tournaments than most of the players that have reached world number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got something like Pat Rafter has only won. I'd only won something like 6 or 7 events. I think 9 events. I mean, he was only world number 1 for 1 week, and that wasn't the greatest.
He got there.
He got there, but
one of my first idols, Pat Rafter, actually.
Oh, he's an absolute legend. Love him. But yeah, 11. Who's to say he's not going to make 11? Roland Garros is. He
will win Roland Garros.
Yeah.
5 sets. Forget it.
It's difficult to argue with it. I mean, he's insane.
Isn't there that stat? I think he's only ever lost 1 match when he's won the first set on clay. I don't know if it's just Grand Slams, but yeah, there's some crazy stat out there.
In, what is he now? In like 17 years. No, it's not 17 years.
He was 17 when he first played.
No, I think he was 15 when he played. But he's only lost 4 matches in Monte Carlo. So, can you name the
No.
Can you not? He's lost 4 matches. Come on, let's see. You know 2 of them, because
Federer.
Donor. No.
Wawrinka.
No.
Gasquet.
You're useless. Djokovic twice.
Oh yeah, Djokovic.
Ferrer once, and he also lost to Guillermo Correa.
Oh really?
In this first go at it. Him and those two had great matches at the beginning of his career. But yeah, I mean Nadal. I stressed on the first ever one we did of this that we try and avoid hero worshipping. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. And my mum and I have plenty of fights. My mum's a big Nadal fan, right? And obviously I'm a big Federer fan. And my mum does her best to make me try and sort of choose one. And what I kept on trying to get across to my mum is that this is the difference with these two. You can be a Federer fan and you can be a Wawrinka fan. A Nadal fan. The simple fact is, if Federer wasn't around, I'd probably support Nadal.
Oh yeah.
Not because he's great, but just because of the way he plays. I love his style. I love how gritty. I love the fact that every single point means the world to him. I mean, it's just he's incredible. So
imagine if he didn't get his injuries.
Well, that's like the Serena thing that Omar said, wasn't it? That she's missed 15 Grand Slams. She's won 22, isn't it?
No.
22.
23.
22. 22. Isn't it 22? Because isn't
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
My report's 23. Shut up. But yeah. So you basically end up being like a plank, whatever you say. You've made me lose my chain of thought. But yeah, but she makes me think that you've got to be one or the other. You don't.
No.
I think that yes, you can have your preference, but I think most tennis fans just in an ideal world, you just want to see that final every single time.
I love them both.
I do.
Federer just that little bit more, but I love Nadal.
It's the grace versus the brawn, isn't it? And whatever. Look, we're not going to talk any more about it. Right. We need to finish it. We've gone over our 30 minutes as usual, talking loads of garbage. Guys, if you have anything you would like to comment or ask us, we're going to do another couple of podcasts actually today and get my wonderful, amazing wife to do some more editing. But please comment. We're going to try and start posting on Facebook a little bit more. We're going to do a live Facebook feed soon. I've started figuring out that Instagram actually is another good thing.
Instagram,
because I know nothing about Instagram.
Oh, God.
But I'm just going to say, just because I know that it'll go out there, good luck to all those who know me and I've always been very, very close to, who are going to be playing in the Masters finals this weekend over at you know where. All the very best to Bea, who's competing in Malaysia for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah, so hopefully she'll pick up some points over there. Bea Asina. Anybody that you want to have a bit of a shout out to?
Nah.
No. Obviously, wherever Omar is, I'd like to say good luck to whatever you're doing, because I'm sure you're competing somewhere. I'm pretty sure you probably jumped on a plane to go to Arsenal to go and kiss and hug Arsene Wenger based on what's happened.
Actually, I think the Skupski brothers are playing.
Are they?
Yeah, they lost unfortunately in the early round.
Did you notice, by the way, that you asked Ken a question, he didn't even bother responding to you? Isn't that really sad that you used to be friends and now he just thinks you're nothing? I can understand it.
Are you friends with him?
No, he knows me. Well, he wouldn't know me to not know me, but
if Paul speaks to somebody once, he knows them and they're his best friends.
Jules, let me know how you and Oreo got taken out of the.
Didn't you send them a message?
I did.
Have they replied?
I didn't ask that one. No. I did send. We were speaking. I just didn't ask about that. I didn't ask about the.
I've seen the photo. It's just all Paul. One message. All Paul, one message.
It's like, generally, I love you. Why don't you respond to me? Why? What's wrong? What have I done? No. It's not that at all. Watch. So yeah, thanks for paying any attention to us. Hope we don't bore you. Hopefully we're getting more people. Share it. Send it to people. Rafa, what you did on Instagram yesterday was just...
We'll get you on.
We'll definitely get Rafa on, because we'll get Rafa on when we want this to end, because I'm pretty sure we'll get shut down. We will get shut down.
We'll need subtitles along the bottom as well, for sure. I need subtitles.
I mean, what we could do is we could have one with Rafa and then bring one with Christoph, and then Christoph could just come in and just go.
I thought you were going to say translate.
No. Christoph, get better soon. Yeah. Hopefully you're going to go and win that tournament. And yeah, good luck to everybody. Hope everything goes great this weekend. Take care.
Bye.